Well, welcome, sports fans, to another episode of Off the Rails Sports Saturday. Episode 8 here. I'm your host, Coach Almendares, along with Coach Thayer and Kyle Eating. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good morning.
Good.
We had to wait for Kyle. The voice of the Panthers had to...
Well, he's got autographs to sign and a lot of engagements that he's got to worry about before he...
Fight the crowd to get him in here.
Yeah.
You think this is the only thing I do in my life?
But
the line at the biscuit stand was very long.
Do we have a biscuit stand here?
Guys, welcome to the show. Whoever's listening, welcome. Today, our guest is PHS Cheerleading. We'll let them introduce themselves here in a minute. After their session is done, we'll go into kind of recapping what the week has gone, which has been basketball, 2 games of basketball this past week, Hall of Fame induction last night, wrestling that was canceled Thursday, but they do have a meet today over at Wilson Central. Hope to get some updates there. And then also the latest news is it looks like PHS is looking for a new head coach. We'll talk about maybe candidates that we think should be there, what we need to be looking for in a head coach and everything. So
Let me just go on record that I'm not available. I will work with the offensive coordinator, whoever they end up hiring to do that. But I have a full-time job, so I just don't have time.
Can't do that?
No, but I will help. As long as we signal in the plays, I'm good to a point. But that's got to be our first, when we hire a head coach.
That's your only requisite for the job.
Well, when we hire a head coach, first thing we need to say is, how are you going to get the plays into the quarterback?
So you was okay with me having cards and we signaled the defense? You was good with that?
Oh, yes.
I was actually better when Avery was doing it, but
yeah, I said it all year long for the last 2 years. I'm a total. When you're in high school, you can do signs, and if the quarterback just can't figure it out, let one of the other players do it, and he can call the plays. It's not written in a book anywhere that the quarterback actually has to call out the play calls. It's not. It's traditional, and it's what you want to do. But if you just happen to have a quarterback that can't, not that we did, I'm just saying if you do, somebody else can call the plays. But I don't believe in running 5 miles during a game to get plays. That's old school. And even Coach Perry, everybody brings Coach Perry, which is cool because we had great tradition up here. But I believe his receivers ran the plays in, not his quarterback running back and forth to the sideline. So that's got to be an absolute prerequisite because it's just not a good thing. And I know I'm going off the rails. You notice the name of our show is Going Off the Rails. And I know I was
we went quick. I wasn't expecting to go this quick.
It was told because we want clock to run. You can run clock standing still. You don't have to have your quarterback running a cross-country meet to run clock, right? You can sit in the huddle and tell jokes or something until you're ready to put them on the line of scrimmage. But you don't have to make the quarterback run so much to get that accomplished. Okay, that's all I've got for at least 10 minutes.
Well, we can go on this, but I'm gonna try to save it till the end because we can elaborate on that. But I'll get into our guests, let them do their thing so they can go have their Saturday and their weekend and a 3-day weekend.
So they're not here for the whole 2 hours?
Oh no. Well, if we go, so of course we have no time limits. So if we go over 11 o'clock, we go
tied
over.
down.
Well, we got a meeting at 11.
Well, the meeting will have to wait.
We can let them just have the meeting live.
But we'll go as long as they want to go, and if an hour is good, then an hour is good. If 45 minutes is all they can do, and then that's what we'll do. It's like I said, there's no time limits. That's the good thing about doing the podcast now. There is no set time. We'll come on at 9 o'clock. We try to. If not, it's going to be 9:05 or 9:10. It's
Yeah, but we do have to be
they
aware
got
of the people who are at 9 o'clock in the morning roll out of bed and turn us on, right? We can't leave them hanging by any stretch.
Your loyal listeners, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in that case, let's come in at 10 in the morning. I'd much rather go 10 to noon than 9.
Well, that's a good thing about the video. That's what I like about the video is, not knocking the live stuff, but we can always do it whenever we want,
right?
And then post the video later. And you're good there.
I'm
going
good,
live, but I like live.
But this is your show. You pick 9 to 11, not me.
I say if it's below 40 degrees outside, you Zoom call it all.
Yeah, I'd have a nightmare trying to get. I
We
can do
can
that.
we can
There's-
figure it out.
Well, no, I can, because as a matter of fact, I record our Zoom calls at work when they're pertinent. to
Well, I
some
think we
stuff
could
that I've gotta
probably
do.
just post
So we
on
could do that.
Facebook that we're gonna go at 1 o'clock this afternoon instead of 9, and everybody will be fine. So, but anyway, we want to welcome PHS Cheer. Ladies, you want to introduce yourself, what you do, and of course, coach, and then what grade you're in and everything. But just speak loudly so everybody can hear, and then if we can, like I said, we can edit the video and we can adjust the volume on the video and everything. But welcome, ladies, to the show, and introduce yourself.
Yeah, thanks for having us. I am Haley Barber, one of our coaches.
And I'm Sophia Link, a senior.
So, welcome. So let's get into I guess we're get a lot of questions here, and we'll just go into. So, how did you get in coaching? And we'll go with that first. How did you get into coaching, and how long have you been coaching?
So this
Tell
is
the truth. You were strong armed. No, I'm kidding.
a little bit. So this is my second season. I actually had a baby 3 months ago, so I've been a little bit on leave, coming back as we get ready for nationals here soon. So Mallory Osteen is really hitting it up this year. She's crushing it. But I got into it last year when there was an opening. And actually, my sister, Ashley Witten, works at the high school, and she kind of told me about it and was like, she was really the one that talked me into it. She's like, you should do this. And I was like, ooh, I don't know. That's a big commitment there. But it's something that I've done in the past in like rec leagues and things. And so I haven't done it on a school level until then, but was always intrigued by it. And it was more of a, hey, maybe down the line we'll get into this. But then when the position came open, it was all right, now or never. So that's kind of how we got started with it. And then I mentioned Mallory, and so she works with me at Watt Hardison. And I was just talking about it one day and kind of roped her into it too. And so we just kind of went for it.
Well, I could say the last several years I've seen uptake in people participating in cheerleading. It seems like it's gotten bigger. You get more and more people on the sidelines, on the football games, the basketball games. You take up the whole baseline and everything, and that's great to see. Glad to see that everybody's out participating in everything. Was it just something that y'all did? I tell you what, let's slow down and go back. Let's go with you. And why? How did you get into cheerleading, and why do you cheer?
I have been cheerleading since I was in PYFL, and then I did all-star.
You can move it. Just don't put it on your head. I mean, you can if you want to.
And then I did all-star cheer for a little bit. I quit for 2 or 3 years, but then I joined the middle school team, and then I've been cheering for Portland West and the high school team. And the reason I'm still cheering is because my mom enjoys it. I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I love looking out to the crowd. I love being with my team. I especially love competing. I like to be under the spotlight, the attention, and yeah.
Well, that's good that you like to be in front of people. I'm just going to trigger this other question here then for you is, when you're cheering, and I know that you're focused on the cheering and trying to hit your spots and marks and this and that. Hopefully, that sounds smart there. But what is something, when you're out here cheering and doing all that, out here on a Friday night in the rain or in the cold or in the heat, in the gym, and you're cheering, are you looking? I know you're looking at the crowd, but are you actually looking at the crowd, or are you focused and they're there and it looks like you're looking at them, but you're really spaced into your zone? Or are you actually looking at people? And if you are looking at people, I know it's like 20 questions all in one, but
you need a notepad.
yeah. What is something that you look at that really just gives you joy when you do look at the people in the crowd? And what is something that you just would like to just run up to the stands and slap somebody and go, hey, we're doing something out here, okay? So you can figure out all the questions I just asked, answer them the best you can.
I really enjoy looking at the crowd and finding little girls looking at me, and I like smiling at them because I feel like I'm their role model. And then sometimes when we're saying like cheers, where like we say something and then you're supposed to yell it back, and they're not yelling it back, so we're just like standing there. But
I'm trying to do better. I really am. And what's weird is I do it in my head, you know, but because I assume you were talking to me.
yeah.
And
Next basketball
But you gotta
game.
remember
Next
he's
basketball
I
game.
do.
broadcasting too,
When they're
so it's
singing,
tough.
I say whatever you say, and I go, wow.
Next
But I'm
basketball
like,
game.
it's not out loud, so I'm trying to.
Look up to the stands where we're at. Make sure Kyle stands up and he's cheering with
I'm
you.
really trying.
During football season, we had a bunch of stuff to throw out, and so I think that was helpful a little bit because
Yeah, we
I
gotta
told them
work
if
on your
they're
guys' arms.
if somebody's not cheering, they don't get a shirt or whatever we're throwing out. Don't give it to your mom, but if she would say the words, you know, they gotta be with you.
So
So
we get nothing in the
That
press
helps a little
area. It's like they can't reach our spots.
Evidently, you weren't.
Oh no,
Come
they
give
was
us a lesson
they
at
slinging the
practice,
basketballs
Coach.
last night. They started
was
slinging
cool.
the basketballs. I'm like, man, they're
it
gonna,
was.
I like
they're
that.
gonna go a ways. So, how much? Let me ask you first. How much training do you do for cheerleading, and what kind of training do you do? Do you do weights? Do you do cardio? Is there you do no training just when you cheer and when you practice? And then, for you, Coach, what are you looking at when you do some training? What are you trying to achieve there? Are you trying to achieve endurance? Are you trying strength, or kind of everything? So again, 20 questions, but we'll go with you first. And so what do you do for training, and how do you train to get yourself ready for cheerleading?
So lately, my parents have been going on runs, and you know, like gym. My mom goes to the Freedom Fitness, so she's kind of looped me in. I like to run on the treadmill for 30 minutes and kind of do like light weights because like lifting girls, I'm not saying they're heavy, but like obviously cheer practice is endurance and you know heavy lifting. So yeah.
What are you looking for, as in like a program, or for them to kind of do for training wise? Are you just kind of focused on more of the cheer and stuff like that?
So when we do our competition routine, it's a little bit over 3 minutes of nonstop. You're either yelling, or you're in a stunt, or you're jumping up and down. And so like that takes a lot of endurance, even though it's only those 3 minutes. When you're doing it, it feels like a lot longer than that, right?
Yeah.
And so really that endurance to be able to get through it. We call those full outs when we go all the way through them at practice. And anytime we do full outs, how's that feel at the end of it?
I have to lay on the floor and I can't get up for like 2-3 minutes.
So yeah, so we're working on that endurance so that we can do those for when we get ready to
And by the
compete.
way, the University of Tennessee cheer team won the national championship.
They did.
So shout out to the Lady Vols, go Vols.
I guess I can get into your jump rope in there, Coach. I know you're a big fan of jump roping.
I'm a huge fan of jump roping, no matter what sport you play.
So, So let me ask you now: when you cheer on during game night, I know y'all cheer and everything, but when y'all go to competition, and we'll speak of the competitions and stuff that y'all have done and where you're going in the future and everything, y'all have, I guess, set positions. Talking with y'all before in the past, you have like people that are base, and you have people that are tops, you got throwers, and you got this and that and everything. What are you, and where are you at in that realm of things, and what positions do you have when, what is it, tumbling? Again, it's not tumbling because it's gymnastics, but what do y'all call it when y'all do a
Free for all.
competition?
There's different parts to our competition. We have different like props, like our signs, our
Right.
flags, or some parts are stunts. So
Stunts.
kind of differs, yeah.
So,
So our competition, like our team has 4 parts. At the beginning, I do motions. The second and third part, I'm in a stunt. The third part, I'm a side base. And then the second one, I'm doing a one-man with one girl on top of me, so I'm the only base underneath. But somebody helps her get up, but I just hold her. And then in the last part, I'm a side base again at the end after doing motions.
And a lot of people always think the bottom has the hard job, and they do, especially if the girl on top is not very good at being on top, because it takes some skill up there too. If they're, you've got to have teammates that you just can't stand being lifting, don't you?
No,
So they're all good.
yeah.
man, I don't
think-
want to hold you up there.
I think all.
But
of
I mean, it takes a it's just as hard. You got to be really good up top, or you're going to kill your person on the
Right.
bottom. There's a lot of skill to being up there. It's not just because you're little and all that kind of stuff. It's you've got to have a great skill
You know,
set.
just
because
kinda-
you kill your bottom people.
Just kind of here sitting there thinking about it. If you're on base, okay, you got to have shoulders, upper body, and core would be the two main things I would think to be a good base. I mean, you got to have your legs and everything, but I think it'd be core and upper body. To be on top, you'd have to have legs and core, because core is
And
going to sit there and give you
balance.
balance. Well, the core is going to give you balance, but your legs will have to, because you have to keep them locked, right? Because you can't sit there and have bent knees on top, and then you're going
Right,
to fall
yeah.
and everything. So, to me, it's almost like you take the core and upper body for being on the bottom, and then on top, you've got to have the legs and the core to be on top and everything. And I think that's a lot of people do is they don't think, they think, I guess they sit there and just think you sit out there and you jump around and cheer and yell. And when you do stunts and stuff like that, because you can always sit there and watch. When I was at Tech and worked as a trainer, we had cheer camp come in for 3-4 weeks, and you always got people with injuries and everything, but you always see all the cheerleaders. They're always you can tell that they train very well.
Right, and that's one question I was going to ask you. How many girls you got? Like, you've got some that do cheer clubs. You got any girls that do competition outside of Portland?
Not this year. Last year we had one that did, but yeah, not this year. They
How
just-
about it? And you got gymnastic people too. Sometimes they don't really in a cheer club, but they're in a gymnastics club. We got any of those? Or?
No, I think we have some that do different sports. Like we mentioned, we have 5 that are also on the dance team
Right.
at the high school. We have a few that are doing flag football this spring, and so kind of various things within the school. Yeah.
I was just wondering about the cheer club stuff because I know that's real hot in a lot of areas.
When other people they do sports, it seems like they have an off season. You do your sport, and then you have an off season for your body to rest, to recover, and to do things. It seems like you're always reading on Facebook or somewhere on social media that y'all got something going on. It's football, now it's basketball. After basketball, it's competition, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, here school's about to be out. You get the summer. Well, no, now you're going to nationals, you're going to the worlds, you're doing this, you're doing that, everything. Do y'all have an off season? Like, when is your off season, and how much time do you have as an off season?
You don't really. It's like kind of a month. It depends, especially with basketball. Last year we made it to state, so we only had a couple of weeks until tryouts rolled around, and
Good point.
then we had, girls who made the team had practice once a week.
We do, yeah, depending on basketball, like she said, that kind of determines the end of our season there. So usually when we start, we kind of start a little slow to kind of, we're still going, but we're not starting full force. That way we can have a little bit of a break per se.
Speaking of injuries and everything, what type of injuries do you see the most in cheerleading? And what kind of injuries have you had to deal with? And is it something like I've seen a lot of on TV and then in person, everything? I've seen a lot of people, they got their ankles wrapped up, knees wrapped up. They got the spider stuff on where they got on shoulders and stuff. You got a lot of shoulder injuries and everything. What's the most common injury you think is being a cheerleader? And then what have ones you've had to deal with?
I think the worst injury, like throughout our team, is concussions, and
Really?
I've had.
Did you see how she looked at you? Oh yeah.
I've had a concussion because when you're stunting, something can go wrong. The top girl fell on me, and I went on the ground, and it was kind of like pressure from the ground and her, and it kind of
Oh, wow.
like, yeah. So I had a concussion, and I had to miss one of our competitions, and I also had my eyebrow busted open from another base. That was a fun time.
As a coach, what are you looking at as in, I guess there's some things you can try to do to prevent concussions. I can see that now, as you say, but it's sometimes you can't sit there and a foot or a hand or something like that going astray and busting your eye or cheekbone or something like that. I can see that, or a lip and everything. what are some things that you all do for precautions or that you train for to try to make sure that, I guess it's the ankles, the knee, and the shoulders and stuff, don't happen? Is there anything that you all rule out, saying we're not going to do this because of the injury aspect of it?
Not necessarily. As far as stunting goes, especially when trying new things or spinning skills or anything that can go a little haywire, we make sure we have people like spotting around. That way it's not left up to those just two bases in the back spot to catch, and hopefully other people can kind of get in there and help prevent some of those injuries. A lot of too what we see is like wrists, maybe just from like tumbling or even basing and that pressure on it, and maybe not even so injuries, but like just like a ongoing just kind of soreness that kind of persists.
Yeah, when you don't have an
with
off
that.
season, your body can't rest
Right.
within 3 or 4 weeks and
Right,
everything.
yeah.
It doesn't heal properly. So,
Yeah.
So kind of go through what you've done so far this year. So when does a year start? I know school starts in the fall, and we start with the fall, and everybody thinks it starts with football, and then we go, and then we stop. But when does your year actually kind of start, and kind of when does it end, and everything? So y'all started when? Back in July, probably starting practicing, or before that?
Before that. So
Okay.
we had tryouts in April, and we have a couple parent meetings and uniform fittings and things like that. And then in May, the beginning of May, usually we
So
start.
your
our
year
practice.
actually starts in about May,
Yeah,
and then you
Yeah.
go until
the end of basketball.
okay.
Yeah.
So however good basketball is kind of how y'all
Right.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Be prepared to work longer this year.
That's what I've heard.
That's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah, the team's doing well.
Well, that leads me into this question then. So the sports that you cheer for, of course, there's basketball and football. Are y'all going to do flag football?
Cheering now?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think we'll take that as a little bit of a break. And a few of our girls play flag football, so they can cheer on themselves on.
So I'm trying to figure out where I was going with this. So starting in May, and you go to the end. What have y'all done so far besides just cheering for football and basketball? What competitions have you been into? What have things that you have won, and kind of go over kind of where you're heading, because I know y'all have won some competitions, placed in some competitions, and could do nationals and stuff like that. So kind of explain kind of how all that has evolved and where you're going with that.
Do you want to talk about that, or like camp and stuff?
So during the summer we just have practices, but we did UCA camp, and it was in Gatlinburg this year. So we go, we learn some material, and we learn how to do some stunts. Then we put together kind of a similar routine that we're gonna compete at nationals, like the same concept. And then we competed, and then we we got first.
We got first in that, yeah.
We got
At
first
camp.
at camp.
So where did y'all go to get your bid for nationals?
So we did 2 live competitions. So we competed at the TSSAA State in Knoxville, and then we did a regional competition that was in Lebanon. And then we ended up doing a virtual competition where we could stay home, and we like uploaded a video to an app thing, and they scored it by videos with different teams. And so we got our bid through our virtual competition there. And all of those were good. They give us good feedback on different critiques just in our routine, because since it's our second year coaching, it's our first year competing, and Mallory's as well as coaches, and so we've had a lot to learn along with our girls, and so that feedback has been really helpful of where we should put people in the routine, different things we should try and do, and all of those. So yeah.
So where are y'all heading for nationals?
We go to Orlando. We leave
The 28th.
on the 28th, so in a couple weeks, week and a half.
Drive or fly?
We were flying.
Congratulations.
You ever flown before?
Yes, I went my freshman and sophomore year.
To Orlando?
Yes.
So you're a veteran to sit there and head down there.
Yeah, kinda.
So how many teams do you expect to be down there this year?
A lot. I don't know the exact number, but it's a lot. It's significantly. I mean, it's national, so it's significantly
Right.
larger than the other ones that we competed in. It's actually set up. It goes kind of by rounds. So when we get there on like a late Wednesday night. On that Friday, we'll compete in prelims, and then if we get a high enough score, then we'll advance to semifinals that Saturday, and again, high enough score, then we'll advance to finals that Sunday. So.
And I've seen in previous years, I've seen the schedule, I guess you'd say. It is a tight window.
Oh, it is. It's.
This
yeah.
is your turn. Now, leave. Next person's
Yeah.
turn.
I think our
And
like.
there's so many different things. It's not just cheer. I mean, there's cheer. Is dance a part of it?
Dance will be down there that weekend too. Yeah.
And so it's just so different things, and just seeing you've got this allotted amount of time, and this is the exact time you're going on.
Yeah.
And some of the social media that was coming across the previous times that you guys have went, it just seems a rush.
Yeah, it's a very quick. They give us like a time to set warm up, and it'll be down to the minute, like a 6:32 or whatever it is, and we can't start until that exact minute. And so yeah, quick time to warm up, quick time to run through it, and then we're on. So yeah.
So you go to nationals. You're looking to, of course, place, win, and all that stuff. If you do that, where do you have to be? Is there a world competition then after that, or is it like nationals is it and you're done?
Not for us. In the all-star world, they do like a worlds.
Okay.
But not for us. It's nationals is it.
You all have a camp coming up. I know Kyle talked about it last night. You mentioned it before we went on air and everything. You want to talk about what your camp is and when it is and kind of what it is and when it's going to be and everything, so get out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's this upcoming Saturday. I think it's one of the funnest things that we do because I really enjoy working with the kids. They have a lot of enthusiasm to like participate. They always want to put in extra work than you tell them to, and that's really enjoyable. I really like sensing with them and putting together like a tiny routine and seeing them make friends.
And age group is what?
4 to 12.
Okay.
Yeah. And at the end of that, next Saturday, our little girls will get to perform for their families, and then also we'll do a national send-off. And so anybody from the community is welcome. It's at 3 p.m. next Saturday to kind of watch our routine that we're going to compete at nationals and kind of cheer us on with that. And then that following Tuesday at the basketball game, our little girls will perform at the halftimes of the girls and the boys games.
And that's always fun.
Well, maybe
It's
we'll
cute. They love it.
That's so much fun.
maybe we'll I can get over there to the high school and film it and then upload it to the YouTube channel. The routine next Saturday at 3 o'clock. That way everybody can see that can't go and everything. One more question, then we're going to take a break and then come back and talk a little bit more school, personal stuff and everything. Talking about the little kids coming out for camp and everything. You started out in PYFL. Do you ever go back on a Saturday and watch them cheer on a Saturday, at PYFL, or if they have a competition that's close enough or anything like that?
I personally haven't. I know a couple girls on the team do have family, like cousins who are in PYFL, so they go to competitions and cheer them on. But we're always super supportive.
I would say it's got to be exciting to be able to, because you get on Facebook, if you get into the right stuff, you're all heading to nationals. I think the bigs in PYFL, they're going to nationals, I think, my understanding. So it's like the tradition. It doesn't just stay at the high school. It continues down to the smaller ladies and everything. And why should they do what they got to do, knowing that they're getting ready to come up and be a part of the legacy that you're putting on, to be a student of you, so you can teach and everything. And that's got to be exciting. It's just like being a coach. I know Coach Thayer sit there and go, hey, I'm hearing about these kids coming up. They're going to play middle school baseball and everything, or if you're coaching high school ball, whatever sport. I've got these kids coming through, and it's going to be exciting to see this and to see that it's not getting smaller. It looks like POFL is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger with the cheer groups and everything, and you've got all those girls coming, to you, and it's just it's got to be exciting about that. But I think it's just great to be able to go and not just go, hey, our high school cheerleading, this is what we do. We go to nationals, we win, we got all these accolades. It's nice to sit there and go, hey, look, our middle school is doing this, and our PYFL is doing this, and you got girls getting ready to go to nationals and do this and that because, of the tradition that Portland has had with cheerleading and it goes from top to bottom, from youth to high school, and I think that's just a great thing to see.
Yeah, we've done a couple things with our middle schools. At like the pep rally that we did on Main Street, we did a cheer with our middle schools there, and then the homecoming bonfire at the high school during football season, we got our middle schools involved there. So we've done some work with them. And then in the future, like for our camp, I always send out to Lindsay to, hey, send this to your PYFL teams to try to get them involved. And so in the future, I'd love to get more involved with our PYFL also to help kind of build all of our programs.
Do you ever think about maybe taking some girls and going over and cheering at PYFL on a Saturday on a home game for all three age groups?
We haven't, but hey, I'm not against the idea.
Yeah, I just, they get to come to us, or they get to come to you and do halftime with y'all and everything. Maybe y'all go down there and share with them at halftime for the youth one day, everything. But with that, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll start trying to figure out what everybody's favorite things are, typical questions that we ask there toward the end and everything. And but again, you're listening to Off the Rails Sports Saturday. We've got PHS Cheer here with us today. We'll be back. Welcome back, Panther fans, to Off the Rails Sports Saturday here on the PSN Network. Today we have, again, PHS Cheer. We have Coach Haley Barber and Senior Sophia Link with us today, talking about cheerleading camps. Kind of get into I was trying to figure out how to question this without it sounding odd, but you know me. So the sports that you cheer for, basketball and football, do you enjoy watching those sports, or are you just there cheering, and everything? And it's okay to sit there and go, no, I'm really not a big football fan, but I'm out there cheering because I like to cheer, and that's fine. But I mean, do you follow sports, any other sports, or basketball and football?
I sometimes don't understand football, but I do enjoy watching it because everybody gets into it, and when the players are like fighting for their life out there, I like to watch it. And I really do enjoy basketball. I do understand that it's really like competitive, like watching, like just seeing their face up close, because we're obviously closer than football. Seeing their face up close and like how much they're fighting for the sport, and it's just really.
Yeah, you're really into action in the basketball game.
Well, you had a couple girls get hurt last year, this past season in football, right? Had a play come to the sidelines and run into a couple of them, and I know one had to be taken to the hospital and everything, and so
one almost got hit by a headset.
yeah. So it leads me into my next question: is being so close to the sport. I was always one that I always wanted to know what was being said on the sidelines, what was being said on the field or on the court or something of that nature, because to me that just puts me into the game, and so being a coach in the box and on the sidelines and everything, for you as a cheerleader, being on the sidelines, trying to cheer, your back's to what's going on, do you ever sit there and wonder if it's coming over here, it's, we're going to get run at, not going to see, ball's going to be flying in the air, overthrown ball, I get hit in the head or something of that nature, coach loses it and starts saying things, players saying stuff to each other, they get tackled on the sidelines right there at your feet, and everything, all of a sudden, talking is happening. It happened last night in the basketball game, are you surprised, or do you just look at it as being funny, or do you, it's like one of those, man, that's part of it that I like, because it puts you right there in it, because I see this coach, and he's in school all day long, and he's so nice and everything, and all of a sudden he's a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde type of guy. Now he's yelling things, and you're like, oh my goodness, did you hear what Coach so and so just said, and or did you hear what this player or that player said and everything. Does that happen, and what is your reaction when stuff like that happens and everything?
So, like, on the football field, if the football players are like right in front of us or close by us, we usually turn around and watch the game, because they can just like run over to us. But if they're far enough down, we usually turn around. So if there's like a ball flying towards us, then it's free for all. And
I try to send signals from the crowd. I'm like, ah, look out.
But usually most of the time if things like that happen, like if the coach starts cussing or like a football player is like, you know, mad, we usually just look at each other and just start laughing because we've all been there. And yeah.
So, as coaches, y'all sit in the stands, or are you on the field with them, or I can say the last 3 years I've been in the box. And I know y'all are down there, but I don't sit there, oh, there's a coach there, and there's one over here, type of thing. Or do y'all try to sit in the stands, let them have the field, or are you on the field with them?
We
or
sit in
just
the stands.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was just, so let's go into, you have any questions?
Trials.
There you
know,
go.
You talked about trials that were coming up. Do you have a set number, like I really need to cap it off at this number, or are you just looking at if they can do it, everybody can join?
It kind of depends. So going into this year wanting to compete, we knew we wanted to be in the medium division, which is 16 to 19 girls.
Okay.
So we wanted somewhere in that number. And then also in those divisions, you want to be like at the top of. So even though medium is 16 to 19, you don't really want 16. So right now we have 18 on our team, so we kind of are able to take up the floor. So we call it fill that space. And so kind of somewhere in there for as far as next year goes, we're not exactly sure. We kind of look at our scores, and if there's like a big gap in scores of everybody's kind of this number, and then there's a drop before this next set, kind of look at that as well.
So explain that scores.
Mm-hmm.
How is that?
Yeah,
done?
so we do 2 days of what we call clinics, where our seniors that are graduating will teach material, like a cheer and a dance and different things. And Mallory and I give them a score based on how they do at those clinics. And then on our actual tryout day, we have 3 outside judges come in. So it's been like people that I've cheered with in the past, people that Mallory's cheered with in the past. We try to get them not directly connected.
People that don't know
right.
who the kids are necessarily.
Right,
That's
yeah.
good.
And then and so they'll score, and we kind of add that in. We also have them get 2 teacher recommendations, and so that counts as part of their score as well. Because that's one thing that we really want with our cheerleaders, is that they are leaders of our school and
Right.
also set good examples in all areas, whether it's on the sideline, in the classroom, in the hallway, whatever that is.
You talked about going to nationals. I'm pretty sure each cheerleader kind of has to foot that bill, right? I mean, so fundraising is a big part,
Mhm.
I'm assuming. What kind of fundraising thing are you already done with that, or do you have something else coming up, maybe? Or I'm assuming go to the high school, say this is for Sophia.
Yeah, we'll take your money if you want to give it.
How do you obtain
It
funds
is. So it costs about $1,500 for each girl to go.
for each?
Girl, so it is a lot. So a big one that we did was the t-shirts that we threw out during football season. We asked for sponsors for that, and so a couple of our girls were able to get enough sponsorships that paid their whole way, which is awesome. And then we've done different things with our kids camp. If, say, Mally fills out her form and recommends Sophia, then like Sophia gets a portion of that towards their bill. What else have we done? Our kids camp is a big fundraiser, but also like for that we got to pay for our coach's way to go, for the bus to get us to and from the airport.
Oh wow!
Different clothes, and so there's a bunch of like team expenses as well that those fundraisers are due. So all the time we are raising money. If you want to cut us a check, we'll take it.
Understood.
We've also done the car wash,
Yeah.
and we've also done the milk. What was that called?
The old Milliken store.
Oh yeah.
Last Saturday, we went out there and our girls were the servers, and we were able to, they gave us all the tips and a percentage of their profits that day as well. So that was a good little fundraiser for
That's
us.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
Pizza
something.
fund and spirit
That
night,
was that's something you don't hear. That's one that you don't hear about. Everybody does the car wash. Everybody does a camp or this or that. But I think that's kind of cool to go, and you get out to meet the public too.
Yeah.
And everything,
Mhm.
and to have a place sit there and say we'll give you the tips,
Yeah.
and then part of the proceeds is.
And their breakfast was really good. So they
There
reached
you
out to
go.
us a few months ago, and I'm like, we need to do this more often. It was nice.
Um, let's go a little bit deeper. You got any more questions? Okay. Before I get into this,
Yeah,
you got any
you got
questions, Coach?
Yeah, when you're at nationals, you got time set aside to do fun things, meet other squads, hang out with them, or anything like that.
We do a little bit. So it is at Disney, so that's a perk of like having that fun time. And so we've worked on our itinerary. We're going up Wednesday night, like afternoon, a little bit after school. And then we kind of have that Thursday. We'll have some practice time in there, but we give the girls some time to have a break and enjoy it because it is a fun
Right.
thing. We're there to
Right.
work, but also we're at Disney. We're going to have some fun with it as well. And then on competition days, we're a little bit more focused on that, but we definitely have some park time built in as well. We stay an extra day at the end of all of it. That way they can enjoy the park as well.
You staying in the park, out of the park?
We're staying at the All-Star Resort, so yeah, on the property.
Is there other schools in the area that you guys know maybe going down there? When I say in the area, like Middle Tennessee or
I think every high school in Sumner County is going except for I don't think Westmoreland competes,
okay.
but I think every other one is. Yeah.
Wow.
And Liberty Creek's in a different division. They're in the football team. They got a million cheerleaders.
They have more. Yeah,
It
they
is
do.
unbelievable.
They're in
They
a
got more
larger division.
cheerleaders
They
than
have a
football
lot.
players. It's like crazy.
They have a lot. Yeah.
Would you ever want to coach something that big?
It's a lot because the thing with cheerleading is you have all of the things to do with the sport, but then also you got a lot of high school girls to manage, and I don't know if we got up into
Yeah,
the
we'll just
30s
leave it
of
at
high
that,
school
right?
girls. That's a lot.
How
Kind
many
of.
parents are going down?
How many parents?
Yeah, like do you have to the rooming? Like in some places you have to have you don't let them room by themselves. How you doing all that?
So our girls are staying either like 3 or 4 in a room, and then it'll be me, Mallory, and then I mentioned my sister Ashley. She's going with us as well, so that'll be 3 people from the school. And then parents are kind of on their own. So we've kind of said to them of like, hey, we are going while we're here. Your girl is with us. If you also want to be with us, come on, hang out, let's do it. But this is our school trip, our team trip, so we are together as a team.
So you're gonna have
Parents are just
curfews
kind
and
of
all that
tagging
good
along.
stuff.
Oh yeah, we're a little strict about it, which
It's your
is
fault
good.
that they have
You need to
curfews,
be
I
because
bet.
just one
No,
little
It's a
candy
soft
can
one.
run the whole show.
I'm in my
Yeah.
room an hour before we're supposed to be in there.
Okay.
I like my alone time.
Hang on, she's in her room an hour before. Now an hour after,
Yeah, that's
she could be somewhere else. Let's get into kind of what makes y'all tick a little bit and everything. Sophia, who do you admire and why?
Who do I admire?
Yeah.
I admire my mom. She's like very resilient. She pushes me like in a good way. She pushes me to be a better version of myself every day with my attitude, with my basically everything. I really admire my mom. She's the person I hope I can be one day.
Oh, sweet.
Who's your mom? Shout out.
Rosario Trout.
Good job.
She listening?
She's at the gym right now. So
Well, we have cell phones. Make sure you like us
All right,
and
man.
subscribe.
I'll tell her to watch the video later.
Yes. Hopefully I can get it loaded. Middle school baseball is still trying to load, but Coach, who do you admire? What makes you,
Yeah. I would honestly have to say my sister. She is the perfect type A to my type B and keeps me in check of all the things. That's part of the reason why we're bringing her to Disney, because we need her guidance and leadership in that.
To make sure you're in your room on time.
Wow.
Yeah, so she just seems to always know what's going on. She answers all my 80 bajillion questions, gives me advice on when I need to, how to talk to parents or how to handle certain situations with our team. On my day-to-day, I teach 2nd grade, not high school, so talking to 2nd graders and talking to high school girls
That's
is
a big point. Yeah. Yeah.
way different realms, and so I go to her for advice on quite a few things.
That's good.
What is something that you would like people to know about cheerleading that they don't know?
It really, people usually think like you just throw somebody up there. It's quite difficult because there's like different stunt skills that we have to work on. Like a full around, you have to spin her in the air. and you know, like, if the flyer's over rotating herself, or the main base is, you know, shoulder comes out, or like the side base isn't catching, or the back spot isn't pulling up. Like, it is hard, and everybody has to put in an equal amount of effort. And with these skill levels, the harder it is, like, I guess people just don't understand that, you know? And like, also at football games, like, how do I explain this? At football games, there's like, even though I'm not the quarterback, you know, getting a touchdown or whatever, it is hard because, you know, we're doing stunts, we're in a uniform, we're running out, we're doing all these different things. So
You're just as much a part of it as
Yeah.
as the rest of
I'd
it.
like to say that.
Yeah.
Put me on the field.
And I agree, and I'm talking bad about me on this one, as I already said earlier. But I know it seems like people don't pay attention to the cheerleaders, either, no matter which sport it is. But you don't have them out there, and you immediately recognize something's not right.
Somebody will be complaining, and
Exactly.
it won't be cheer parents, but it'll be somebody else.
Exactly. Where are
Sometimes
the
the
cheerleaders?
broadcast crew says, "Where's cheerleaders?"
Yes, we went to other schools where they didn't have cheerleaders, and it seemed weird, you know, because our girls were kind of going to do double duty. It seemed like that time. So I know it seems like no one's paying attention, but I promise you, everybody knows that you're there, and they expect you to be there. And
Well, everybody doesn't know. Some people don't even watch the game. Period. They're just there on their
What are
phone
they
the
there
whole
for?
time. You tell me. I mean, it's like parents are the worst. They're not cheering for the teams or nothing. They're just on looking at their phone the whole game and go, "Why do you even show up?" Just because I could say I was there. Pay attention to it. It's aggravating as all get out, and it really shows up like in small sports like baseball when you're looking on the side and you're thinking some of these people don't even know the score. Which
So-
really irritates me, by the way.
so I guess I was just saying that I think cheerleading's a big deal. And,
It is a big
and we've
deal.
paid more attention to it since when we started doing this in the past few years. We've paid more attention to what they're doing. And it's just like she said, you think cheerleading is just this, it's not that hard. Oh, well, it is.
Yeah, and you
And it's
notice,
a lot
you notice
involved in
good
it. You know,
squads.
she started talking about different moves and stunts and things. There's a lot involved in it.
Yeah, and it's like bands. You notice good bands.
Right.
You don't notice bad bands. You just, but good bands like our band's phenomenal.
They are.
They really, I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. And the cheer squads, when they're good, you know, you just look and they catch your eye. You know what I mean? So the people who matter that's watching, they pay attention.
What is something about cheer that you'd like to have somebody know?
I think kind of like Sophia said, it's more involved than what you think. Actually, what you see us doing most is our sideline cheers is probably what we practice the least. And because there's so many other things with our timing or with our stunts or our competition routine is what we're kind of all involved in at this moment as we get ready for nationals. But yeah, it's so many other different parts to it than just shaking our palms on the sidelines.
Exactly.
Um,
She said it way better. than
Yeah,
me.
yeah. I mean, that's why I laughed because I was going through my head that it's not how we would have said that. But you've been to a lot of stadiums and you've been to a lot of high school gyms. What is one of your favorite places to go cheer at? As in, you are on the football field. Would you rather be on grass or on turf during the football? And during basketball, what is a gym that you thought, man, this is an amazing gym, and this is pretty cool type of thing? Do you have a favorite for either one?
For football, my freshman year we went to Gage. I don't even
Okay.
remember.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't remember. I just know we went to state, I think. With, like, yeah.
Like
And-
playoffs.
Yeah, and it was like in Paris, Tennessee, I'm pretty sure.
Henry County.
Yes, that one. And their football field was
Yes.
really nice. It was really nice.
Different.
And then for basketball, I really like Hume Fog, or when we went to MTSU. That
Oh,
was
wow.
really
What was that
fun.
like?
It was really fun. Like being on the
It's a
sideline,
completely different atmosphere, isn't it?
it was really big. Because in the past, they used to have cheerleading for state there, and we
Okay.
only competed in the middle of the floor, but we never got to experience actually on the sideline for like in 2 hours, like
Yeah.
getting to cheer for other people.
And I know why you like King Fog is going to eat at some restaurants close by. That's got to be the only reason you want to like King Fog, because it's hard to get to. I know for sure. Somebody hung up on me. They were so mad at me about getting there.
Speaking of food, what is your favorite food?
I really like sushi. I like different culture foods. Like I'm Peruvian, so I really like Peruvian food. But I also like Asian food, European food. I really like Thailand food too.
Wow.
But yeah.
So, what's the best sushi place to go to?
Rock and Roll Sushi in Hendersonville.
Is it just all
Shout
sushi?
out.
What's the worst sushi place?
It's easy for you to say.
No
Gas
hate.
station sushi.
No hate.
Kroger's?
Bentos. Sorry.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Sorry.
It's important to know. The
It
the
is
worst
what it
one's
is.
important to know for sure. Unless they're an advertiser, but they're not, so don't worry about it. And you know what? We tell it like it is. Even if you're an advertiser and you're below par, pick it up. We're turning you on to people. You need to make sure you're doing your job right.
What you're supposed to say is, if they're below par, they wouldn't be an advertiser, because we wouldn't accept that.
Yeah, that's not true. We would just tell them to pick their game up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We would just say,
Well,
hey,
you become a shareholder. Is that what you're saying?
no, not a shareholder. We would just say, get better.
Just encourage them to be better.
Yes.
Coach, what's your favorite food?
I like Mexican food. That's where I was last night.
So if you had a place.
Yeah, ask where. That's always important here in town because we got so many. So which one?
So what is your favorite here in town? I guess, or
one
close,
the one next to Dollar General.
or the one,
There's it down.
or somewhere close in the area. And if you had a choice, and you could go, what is your most favorite Mexican place?
Here in town, we don't eat here in town a whole lot.
Really?
When we do, we go to Azteca. El Azteca.
Which one's that?
The one like
Main
by the
Street.
railroad tracks, Main Street, yeah.
Okay. Really? That's where you go?
If we eat here in town, but we don't go there very often.
Okay. Have
Usually
you
we
been
go.
by the Papa John's one?
Yeah.
Senior fajitas.
Yeah.
They say the one right over here by the across from the church. the First
I haven't
Baptist
been to
Church.
that one yet, but I have heard that one's
Can't
good.
get margaritas though.
Bummer.
You're not going.
We go to Lomelli's in Franklin a lot. That
Say
one's
it again.
pretty good. Lomelli's.
Where's that at?
Is it?
It's kind of across from like the Church of Christ. It's on 31.
But
on Main
can
Road.
you get a margarita there?
You can. And then last night though I went to El Potrero because they have good vibes. They got karaoke on Friday night. I don't
Oh,
Is
see
that the one
karaoke,
like towards
but
Scouts?
Right there next to the-
Exit 6?
I'll fix
No.
it 6, yeah.
Oh, that
El
one. But
Potrero
there's
is-
there's one now next to the rail station, right across from the Baptist. It opened up.
Oh, that's the name of that one. Okay, got you. What's
The
the
little
one?
bitty one right by. Yeah, that's the one I mentioned earlier.
But the chief talking about the one that's over there off of exit 6. Yeah. You need to go try.
And then we're opening another one apparently somewhere here in town.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, you know.
And someone said we're getting a Zaxby's. They're just absolutely no way.
That one I did hear.
That's what
There's
I've
a
heard.
problem. I can't believe that. That'll be pretty cool, I guess.
There's one in Gallatin I found. Los Torritos, as you're heading out toward the Green Bridge, or it used to be the Green Bridge.
Mhm.
Everything.
Oh, I haven't been to that one. That one is good.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's good food there. A lot of food. Anyway, so if you had to go to one, have you answered that one already? If you get to pick, which one are you going to?
I think it depends on what I'm wanting. If it's
And
if
you're
it's
driving
good
or-
food,
Okay, well,
we're
let me
going
ask-
to Lomelli's. If it's
Okay.
like the vibes, you're wanting to hang out, maybe
Yeah.
hear a band, karaoke, then you go to El Potrero.
what
Gotcha.
is your go-to dish?
Everybody
Everybody goes in and is going to order the same thing pretty much all the time.
I kind of teeter, between a normal chicken, cheese, and rice or a chimichanga. My son had a fajita quesadilla. It was pretty good.
Wow.
Sushi.
The 3-month-old?
Yeah, he went to karaoke last night. Yeah, he was hanging out. He went to sleep during somebody's song. They serenaded him.
Oh, wow.
So with sushi, I know there's different kinds. What is your favorite sushi?
I don't have one. They're all just my favorite.
So you can, no matter what's in it, you can pretty much eat it all.
Yeah.
Do you
Okay.
eat raw sushi?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten sushi actually.
So we'll stay with that restaurant, my favorite restaurant. And you already said Rock and Roll. Or well, is that your favorite restaurant? Or what would you say is your favorite
Well, that's your
restaurant?
favorite food, so I guess it's your favorite restaurant. Too.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but she just said so that ended up putting something
Well,
else
you
in there.
confused her.
I do that a lot. I do it to Kyle all
She's
the
thinking,
time.
I've already answered this, I thought.
Actually, I really like Rafferty's in Bowling Green.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Me and my parents went there for their anniversary, and they're expensive, but they're really good.
What'd you have there?
Um,
Sushi?
No. I had a steak, and it was really good.
So it would be your favorite restaurant, Coach?
I'd probably have to go with Olive Garden. The endless breadsticks and salad that gets me.
Yeah, Olive Garden is the reason I'm half broke. So.
Favorite music? What do you listen to?
I really like R&B.
How old? How far
Like
back
who?
we
Give
going?
us
How
some,
far back
give
we
us some
going?
song, people singing.
My
maybe, like-
Spotify Wrapped. My age was 22, so not that far back.
Okay.
I mostly listen to The Weeknd or Mariah the Scientist, if you know who that is.
I don't. I know who. I know who The Weeknd is, but I don't know who Mariah the Scientist.
Yeah. And then I listen to SZA. Do you know who that is?
No.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I listen to R&B. Those are like the top three.
Do you listen to any old stuff, like Usher and any of that stuff? Usher's pretty cool.
Usher. When you say Usher is old,
He
oh my
considers
God.
that old
I'm
stuff?
over going old. I'm over going. I like
Marvin
Motown.
Gaye or
I like Motown. I like the Temptations. I'm going
Well,
back.
I'm trying to stay within like when she
Well, I
was maybe
understand.
born.
But-
I like Usher, Coach. There, I'm with you.
Usher is good. He did one of the best Super Bowl shows, I thought.
Coach, what's your favorite music?
I listen to a lot of country or like contemporary Christian. Those are kind of my realms.
Favorite subject in school?
I don't know if this is a subject, but I really like theater. Like I'm in their 3 classes. So
really?
yeah, we have 4 classes. I have economics and personal finance, which is 9 weeks, so it's 1 class. And then I TA for Dr. McCoyne, the theater teacher, and then I'm in the tech class, and then I'm in the acting class.
Wow.
That makes sense because you said you like being in front of people and doing things like that, and part of the reason why you cheer. So, speaking of off the rails, here comes the train.
Yes.
But that makes sense and everything. What's a class that you don't like, and not this year, but maybe just through your whole school from kindergarten to now? What is a class or a subject that you just really, maybe we can wait till the train goes by here a minute. But what is a subject that you just not your favorite?
I don't like math. This past year I had Coach Moore, and he was really good. He helped me understand it, but I still just don't like math.
Coach, what was your favorite subject when you was in school?
Mine was math, so that's funny. Now as a teacher, I really like teaching our phonics curriculum. That's fun.
Oh, really?
Favorite movie?
The Notebook.
Oh wow. Okay. That's a hard one for me. If they ask me what's your favorite movie,
Well, when I just think about it, I just think about which one made me cry the most, and it was The Notebook.
Okay.
And
So that's your scorecard for
yeah, top.
yeah.
Yeah. If you want the waterworks, that one.
Nice. My favorite movie would be She's the Man. It's Amanda Bynes. It's very funny. 10 out of 10 recommend.
I've never seen either one.
I haven't seen them. I've heard the Notebook.
I don't want to cry though, so I ain't watching.
Don't cry. Watch She's the Man. It'll make you laugh. It's funny.
You gotta watch that one first, and then you watch that one afterwards.
Yeah.
To kind of get you. Go do it.
I finally got to watch Poochers again after like 5 years of not being allowed to.
Oh, really?
Yeah. We watch it so much.
Oh.
It's like a yearly tradition for me. You got to watch yours and
Oh, yeah.
basketball season starts.
I like that one, Coach Carter. There's all. I guess it depends on which genre you're going to be. For me to sit there and give you a favorite, but favorite movie character.
Like fictional or or
It don't matter.
Now remember, you're going
It
to
can,
Disney World.
it can be Aladdin if you want it, or it can be real. It doesn't matter. Just something that character that you kind of vibe with, or you know. What are you gonna say? Oh,
I really like Moana. She's cool.
She's so shiny.
Yeah.
Coach.
That's a tough one. I don't know. I could go with Princess Belle. It's my favorite Disney princess.
So Moana's, yeah, that's
Is that for you too?
That's my. I don't want to say it's my era, but that's the one I had to listen to.
I got you. I got
Too
you.
much straight.
You all got any questions?
I don't. Just social media. How can we?
Oh,
What? Where y'all?
How do we follow?
Facebook,
PHS Cheer.
Facebook, Instagram, X known as Twitter,
Yeah.
Snapchat.
We're on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. We don't make a lot of TikToks, but we're have one. So yeah.
So, Coach, got anything?
I do not. I just want you to have a great trip and have fun.
Thank
Get in your
Good
room
luck.
sometime. You don't sneak out.
I'll try.
Keep an eye on Coach Lee.
No promises, but I'll try.
No.
Have her send out the updates on the PHS app. So
Okay.
Everybody knows what's going
Get
on.
to the
Yeah.
airport early. You know all that good stuff. Take your shoes off. And you go through the line. Don't have water in the bag. I screwed up on the way back from St. Croix. I bought this barbecue sauce, and I was like, and I had a water, and I was in a hurry. I totally forgot that I had it on my carry-on. I really forgot. I meant to put it in my suitcase. That I forgot. So when I'm trying to get through, they keep pulling me over, and I go, dude, I ain't got nothing in here. And they pull out a water bottle and a thing of barbecue sauce. I go, I totally forgot. I'm sorry.
They done stuck him in a room.
But they kept rotating me around like, you got something in that bag. And I'm going, I don't. I really don't. And I had to give up my barbecue sauce. But
Oh, okay.
they had just made a batch right then at that restaurant that day and gave me a bottle of it. Golly, that was so heartbreaking because the barbecue sauce is really good. But anyway, just don't have water on your carry because they'll get on to you.
Well, we want to thank Coach Barber and Sophia Link here to coming by the show today and visiting and giving us some insight on PHS Cheer. Again, guys, go to their social medias. We'll put it on. We'll put it on the Facebook page, so that way you can follow there. I'm sure you're still taking donations as late as you can
Sure.
for
Or they'll
anything.
grab them for next
You
year.
know,
Just
Yeah.
or yeah.
building up ahead of time.
If you know someone that wants to sit there and cheer, you got tryouts coming up in a couple months. Come to a basketball game, come watch them cheer, talk to the girls, talk to the coach afterwards or something like that.
And it's not
You
too
know.
late to sign up for cheer camp, right?
It's not. You're not guaranteed a T-shirt if you sign up now because it's just
Okay.
next week.
Okay.
But you can still come
And again, cheer camp is next Saturday from what time to what time?
from 12 to 3. And at 3 we'll have our national send-off. So come on out and watch us.
And that's at the PHS High School gym.
Yep.
So if you got nothing to do, come on out and watch the camp, watch the send off and everything. And like I said, if right now I don't do nothing, so I should be able to go out there with the iPad and maybe film the routine, the video of the routine, and get it up on YouTube and everything, and that way other people can see it. But again, ladies, thank you for coming in, joining us. Hopefully you have a good Saturday and a good week coming up, and definitely be safe next Saturday once you do your send off and everything. And but again, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks
And
for having us.
but when we come back, we'll recap the week, PHS basketball, wrestling, and now looking for a new head coach in football. Again, you're listening to Off the Rails Sports Saturday here on the PSN Network. Welcome back, Panther fans, to Off the Rails Sports Saturday. Again, want to sit there and say thank you to PHS Cheer, Coach Barber, and Sophia Link for joining us today. It's always great when we have live people in studio. Hope they're live. It's always great to have some people come in and we can talk and not just listen to us talk for 2 hours. But want to sit there and recap this week in sports. I know we got signups for Portland Youth softball and baseball is going on right now. They're looking for coaches, volunteers, dugout moms. And I know that they posted also on social media today that if you want to sign up for that, you do have to do a background check. They're doing a background check for anybody who's going to be volunteering to help with coach. If you step one foot on the field during a game for any reason, to be in the dugout or whatever, you have to have a background check, and I think that's a good thing there. The other thing is also got a reminder that the city of Portland has a website. You can go to the city of Portland, and it will have a new tab that says Youth Athletics. And in that tab, it should give you everything that's going on for the youth in the city of Portland. And I think that's great to have. That way you get new people coming in into the town, because Portland's growing, people are moving in. Now that the interstate is widened, I think you're going to see more people coming in, because you're going to be close to the interstate. Jump on the interstate, head to Bowling Green, head to Nashville, 30 minutes away on either one. And it's good to have a website where people can go to and see what's going on with the youth sports, what's out there and what's available and everything. But for guys, this kind of y'all's area here. We got basketball Tuesday and last night. Supposed to have wrestling. I did want to talk a little bit about wrestling. I will say this: wrestling is over in. We'll do wrestling first. It's be the shortest. Wrestling is over at Wilson Central today, and I was given information. 14 mats.
Wow.
79 teams at this meet that they're at.
Wow.
And one of the things I talked with Coach Roberts about this week, texting back and forth with him, trying to get information. I asked him, what is one thing that we need to work on, being a first-year team, and he said having enough athletes to compete at every weight class. And I checked. There's 14 different weight classes. You've got, I think, 5 lightweights, and you have 4 middleweights and 4 heavyweights class divisions. And you go from 106 pounds all the way up to 285 pounds. And I thought, as long as you was 285 or over, you get to wrestle. But there is a weight limit. You cannot wrestle if you're over a certain weight, and so you have to sit there and kind of drop weight to get into that class.
I guess I figure if you're 285, you probably
Well, I mean,
wanna...
I hate to see that, because you might have a kid that's 320 and wants to wrestle and everything, and now you're going to make him.
How big's Kyron?
He's 330.
Is he? Well,
Yeah,
that's
Kyron
not
was
fair,
330.
because
Yeah.
Kyron's not
Yeah.
like he's a good look. He's an athlete, just a big kid.
But I was really looking into, because we was gonna do the broadcast Thursday night. Me and you, Coach Thayer, I was gonna do wrestling. I was just getting out of my truck in the parking lot when you texted. They canceled, and so I actually took about 2 steps, turned around, and went back to my truck and went home. And but I learned a lot this week about wrestling without talking to. So I was really excited about having Easton Duffy with us, helping broadcast and learn, trying to learn some terminology and everything. But something that
So what was the issue? Sickness? Or?
I don't never
Lane
said.
didn't show up. They canceled.
So I don't know if it was sickness or
It
why
was
they
just Hunter's
canceled.
Lane. It's hard to get the kids down at Hunter's Lane. I mentioned it.
It's my fault. I
mentioned it during football games. That's just a tough gig down there for those coaches. Just the environment, just that general area. It's just really tough to get some commitment. It's not the coach's fault for sure. It's hard.
But
it's hard for the football team sometimes to get the commitment.
But talking with Coach Roberts, and he was saying it's hard, and you sit there and you wonder, well, why is it such a big deal to have someone in that weight class? You have to fill out 14 different weight classes and everything. The reason why is you're not only in the dual meets. It's not only about the individual people, and we have a couple individuals that are doing great, boys and girls, and but it's in the dual meet. You're looking for team points, So when you don't fill out, when you don't have someone wrestle in that weight class, so say we don't have someone in the 106 weight class, okay, we then have to forfeit that. A forfeit gives the other team 5 points toward the team points. And so even though you're trying to build individual stuff and you're competing that way,
You want to win as a team.
in the end, yes, you're wanting to win as a team. And so when you losing 5 points for each forfeit you have to have because you don't have enough athletes, everything, and that's part of growing and starting a program. And he understood that. And he said, but that's just kind of where they're at right now, is we don't have enough athletes to fit in every weight class.
One thing that would be cool, I know it'd be tough, but like in the old days, if they could have some type of match during school where the student body, the only way to get at classes, you have to go to that event.
I got you.
Then that way, people would learn about it.
Yeah.
Because there are some athletes in the community that high school that would be really good wrestlers that I just don't think they're just scared. They don't know anything about it, so they don't want to go do it. Where if they watched, or they think of the stuff on TV, the wrestling where you jump off the rings, pile drivers, and all that kind of stuff, and they don't really realize how great of a sport wrestling really is. And I've always been a great fan of wrestling. The only problem I've ever had is when the competitive programs you get to the not eating and throwing up kind of stuff.
And
But in general, the sport is fantastic, and it's a really good sport for kids to get into. Of all athletes, it's just a great sport to be in.
So that gives me a great segue into what I wanted to, the next thing I want to talk about wrestling, is that reading the rules. I went through the handbook, the rule book, and everything for wrestling at TSSAA. Something that they do is they monitor your weight. You have to have a BIA is what they call it. It's a body index acclimation or something is what they call it. So, and I don't know if they do it weekly, or I know you have to do it at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of like your base. They take the body fat readings from either the chest or the pec or the waist and everything, just like, so they take a body fat composition, and they also there is a dehydration test they take that you have to take, and you have to take these, and then you get your base weight, and they can sit there and go, okay, now he's going to be wrestling at the 185 mark. That's going to be his base. Now, if he gains weight, that's fine. But all of a sudden, if his base is 185 and all of a sudden he's trying to get to the 155, they're going to sit there and halt that and go, no, there's no way.
So they put some they put some stuff to keep it.
Because of what you said, that's one of the things they used to say is that.
And remember, everything unhealthy. I based my wrestling on was back in the 80s.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's
in high school, when I was in high school, I graduated in '78, and then I was absolutely in love with wrestling for a long time. I've gotten kind of out of whack of keeping up with it, but college wrestling, man, it's phenomenal. It's a Midwest sport. I mean, Iowa and Iowa.
Big Ten, the Big Ten.
Yeah, the Big Ten is just But I used to watch as much wrestling as I could on ESPN because it was just a great sport, especially the Olympics. Yeah. But I just have gotten kind of out of.
So what they do on like Thursday night, if we would have been with the team at 5 o'clock, they would have weighed in. At that weigh-in, they do this dehydration test, and if you're below the certain reading, they're not going to let you wrestle. Because it's saying that you're not hydrated enough, because that's what people do. They'll dehydrate themselves. They will sit there and not eat to try to drop and get into that weight class they're trying to fit into. And that's part of the unhealthiness that we talked about, and that me and you being at our age and everything, that's what it was known for back then.
Yeah,
you'd sit there and you'd throw up. You wouldn't eat for 3 days. You wouldn't drink water for whatever. And as soon as you weigh in, then you sit there and you would carb load yourself, and you would actually overdo it. An hour before you were going to wrestle, and it's not healthy for you. So I'm glad to find out that they've got things in place to make sure stuff like that don't happen. And so if you're at this weight, just understand you can move up. And the thing is, the weight classes, I was talking to Kyle about this at work the other day, the weight classes move on average around 6 pounds. So if you're 106, the next weight class is going to be about 112, and you might go 7 pounds on the next one or 5 pounds on the next one and everything as you move up the weight classes and everything. And they got them listed on the TSSAA, and you can just Google what's the weight classes in Tennessee, and they'll tell you what your weight classes are. but I think like the heavyweights is 185, 20 something, and then it goes all the way, and then two hits to like 240, and then 285 or something like that, and that's the big jumps there. But anyway, they canceled. Hunters Lane canceled Thursday, so we missed the opportunity to broadcast and do that. The wrestling is over at Wilson Central, like I said, 14 mats. I mean, I saw the mat in our gym, and it takes up half the floor. So they have 14 mats. That size. You're going to have to be in the gym, the auxiliary gym, cafeteria. Who knows where they got you at? And 79 teams, man, that is a lot of kids.
It'd be interesting if we had to be on NFHS. I'm sure they've got it broadcasted just to see what that scene looks like.
But hopefully, I get some updates from the person who's there. Let me know about it and everything. If I get updates before the show ends, I'll give updates. But yeah, I can't wait for the next home match to where we can hopefully broadcast and get it out there. And so then with that, we can go into let's go into which one you want to go into basketball first. You want to go into looking for a head coach.
Doesn't matter to me.
Which one do you think is going to last longer?
What?
Let's go into basketball. Let's talk basketball. We had we had a game Tuesday night at Liberty Creek, first district game, our region game. Last night against Springfield, a new region foe again, and but also the Hall of Fame induction and everything, and it was great to see the 4 people get inducted there, and then get to talk to 2 of them. Y'all got to talk to 2 of them during halftime of the show. But Kyle, if you want to go ahead and start with the recap of Tuesday's game and everything at Liberty Creek, and go on into last night, and I'll let you kind of take over.
Yeah, we'll talk about the girls first, and if you're looking at coming into the new calendar year, we were a little worried about our girls team. They just didn't look right. Even over the win against White House Heritage, we said several times.
Yeah, they look beautiful.
Something just ain't okay. Good word. Something just isn't right. And going into district, and that's all that matters. And we said that before. Now you don't want to be 5-14 going into, of course not. But I do remember. I think it was Coach Ferguson's second year or first full year. The boys team was about 5-14 going into district, and ended up winning the district tournament and making that go into the sectionals. So yeah, it's all about
young guards. It takes time.
It's all about what you do when district play starts, and that's all the coaches are really worried about. They want to make sure they get everything tuned up.
And you don't want the playing game, so you want to make sure.
That's right.
You win enough to not have to do that.
You want to bypass that so you can have an automatic region
that's just like
input.
Win or lose.
But this year it's going to be harder to stay out of that, because in previous years, if you were in the top 3, you didn't have that playing game. Now with the extra team that we've got, now we've moved up to 6 teams. Now only the top 2 get that first round bye. So that makes it even tougher to avoid that. Again,
but the others get in a double elimination bracket still, though? Because a playing game, if you lost it, your season was over.
Correct.
So how are they going to...
So you're going to have 2, I guess you'd say, playing. You got 2 first-round games. You lose those games,
you're out.
Because you're not going to be in the top
4 teams.
Yeah.
Woo.
And so then the winners of those 2 games play the 2 bye teams. So that's your 4 teams that's going to go to the regionals. And,
that's going to be tough. Because
that,
even good teams are going to get in the playing games, which is, you know, the TWS, they play so many games, but then now all of a sudden you're one of your top teams that can get a bad night, one bad night, not 2.
That's all it takes.
One bad night now, and you're cooked unless you're 1 or 2 through the regular season.
And we've seen that.
That's pretty tough.
So we've mentioned it before. The new district, Macon County is out, and I know that hurt John. And then in comes Springfield, who in the new classification, happened in football too. They've dropped down a classification because of their enrollment. So now they're in our district, and now we have Liberty Creek, which moved up and is now in our district. So I like the district. We haven't had a lot of time to talk about it here on this show, but I like the new district. But that being said, so 2 new teams we played right off the bat, Liberty Creek and Springfield. And you're looking at a girls team that was averaging about 46 points a game coming into district play. And they defeated Liberty Creek 66-46. think is what I have, and then they beat Springfield last night 64
Yeah,
to 39.
46.
So
The girls.
something
No,
the girls. The
They
And-
girls.
lost.
In the girls' side of things,
Yeah, they
losing
lost.
Macon
Sorry,
County
You're right.
was good because Macon County girls basketball is always really competitive.
Yes.
So them dropping out and bringing Macon County for Springfield is a plus.
Yeah.
Because Springfield girls basketball on paper is, I have to look. I mean, I don't keep up with them that much, but just history, they're never that good.
Yeah.
So that was good for us. But then Liberty Creek, you know, their coach, they got a good coach team.
Every single sport they have is trending upward since they started 4 years ago.
Everybody wants to go to that pretty school,
I was
Taj
gonna say, it
Mahal
should, yeah,
High
yeah.
School.
You're gonna
It's a
get.
dangerous drive. I wouldn't let my kid go to that school. That is a really, really bad drive. And you drove it this week. It's not.
You don't like going down
Well,
Upper Station Campus?
Can you imagine sending your kid out every day, back and forth? I'm telling you, that's as a parent. Some parents don't even think about that. I guess I don't know, but it would make me a nervous wreck because that's not a good road. And going down there, two trucks pulling trailers was on my side of the road by a good 7 to 8 inches. And I'm an experienced driver, so you know I realize that
Well,
a younger kid sometimes might not be that versed into avoiding
Yeah.
something. It could cause a wreck just trying to avoid
well,
it. So it's a tough road, dude.
it's me and Kyle heading down to Liberty Creek the other night, and we about went into the ditch
Yeah, I mean,
because of a possum.
Now you know why I don't drive fast.
And man, we were flying. We were trying to get there,
well, I
and
do
we
drive
just
fast.
was talking about deer. And I don't know what got
Yeah,
us on the
We were
conversation.
looking up for
And,
deer.
and we were talking about deer running, going across the road, and everything. And all of a sudden, he goes to the ditch, and there's a possum right there.
Did
I'm
you
like,
know
well,
this
there you
about
go.
possums? That they can gather leaves with their tail. Just a whole
Why?
because for nesting.
Oh.
There was a possum went by on my video camera one morning, and it looked like leaves all over it. And I said, "Look, what?" And then my wife said, "That's just babies on its back." I said, "That is not babies." I thought maybe they messed up and like humans that couldn't get to the bathroom in time, and the leaves just stuck or something. But I read that their tails are meant to gather. They can gather leaves and straw and grasses to take to their nest for nesting. It's amazing. Look it up. They're very talented in.
Only us can go off.
They're
They're very athletic.
They're
That's what you're
very
saying.
athletic. Their tails can do a
Speaking of
lot.
athletics, so
Can you
they
imagine
take
if
the
you
loss.
get a bunch of possums, train them, and they could go out there and bale hay and all that stuff for you?
How about that? So taking that, the big loss against Liberty Creek. Of course, Liberty Creek girls are 16-4 on the season.
Seven deep seniors.
Yeah, exactly. A very
And they look
veteran
seniors.
team.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see the next game against Liberty Creek because I think it's going to be a total different game.
Yeah, we mentioned that
Just-
because you looked at the date. I said we need to
Just-
circle this date, and I didn't know how if it was like a week later. That's not enough time. But it's the end of the month, right? Didn't you say the 30th or 20
yeah,
something?
20th.
It was later in the
20th.
month, I
not
thought.
the 20th.
20th,
No,
I thought 28th to 30th, somewhere in there. But
26th.
anyway, that circle that date, and then let's see what happens. And that's going to be a good point to see how much we've improved.
It's Friday the 30th.
The 30th. So the reason I said it last night off air was because when I watched them play Liberty Creek Tuesday night, we looked lethargic. We looked slow. We didn't move our feet. We looked that way also the game before. Or we looked that way actually since we come back from Christmas break, since we come back from the beach and everything. In my opinion, and we looked slow, and we are in position to rebound, but we're not jumping like you was talking about, Coach.
We don't block out first, and then
you're
we
not
just
whipping that ball down and protecting it and
Yeah.
everything. Last night, from the get go, from the jump of the ball, we were moving our feet. We looked faster. We looked like we had energy, and we were aggressive trying to rebound. And I think now, if you can continue to play that way, once you get to the 30th, I think it's a total different game. And,
it's going to
but-
be interesting. I want during the broadcast, me and Kyle brought it up. Just circle the date, and let's see how we've improved between now and then, because that's going to be key. And like I said, our one thing is we've got a lot of length But we just don't hit the body on a block out first, some of our girls, and then get the rebound. They just try to out jump, and when you're not in position sometimes, Kieva does a really good job of putting somebody on people consistently, and that's important. The rebound in ladies basketball, more than any of the basketballs, it's blocking out and getting offensive rebounds when you're shooting and not allowing the other team to get their offensive rebounds.
It was just hard to
the
see.
difference between the games.
It was just hard to watch, Bradley's in position and the ball's coming to her and she's waiting for the ball and she's letting the ball come to her, and then all of a sudden, Liberty Creek jumped out of nowhere or jumps over.
We'll
her
see. That's our off players aren't attacking at times
and
too.
That's what kind of was happening there. It's like we're waiting for the ball to come to us, thinking that there's no one around us, instead of being aggressive with it and trying to get up and make sure, even if there's no one around, go get the ball,
right,
and protect it and everything.
And it's not Coach Stein. Like I've said many. If you had any doubts, which I don't know why you would have, but people are nowadays, everybody's negative about everything. But what he did last year, the only coach in the history of Portland girls basketball to take us to the state, you can't ever, without doubt, if you did, question that anymore. He's teaching them what to do. But the girl, you've got to get on the court and perform. It's the same thing as any sport.
Yep.
Like my ball players, we obviously go over the proper way of catching ground balls, how to get leads, diving back to back. But then in the game, they'll get picked off like you just shine a light in their face. And, there's just so much a coach can do. He can't always make the players do it on the floor. So it just they've got to have and we mentioned it after the old Liberty Creek game. They need to, or not White House Heritage. The girls need to have a meeting within themselves and go, what is our goals this year? Or is all we're going to think about is last year going to the state tournament, or are we going to pick it up and get locked in? Because they've got the talent to get it. We got, our guards are young, sophomore, freshmen. They're going to have some tough nights, but they've got to keep working, keep their confidence up, and eventually it's going to all work out. But they've got to decide what their goals are.
Well, you said it at Liberty Creek. Tomorrow's practice with Coach Stein, it needs to be a certain way. And here's what I like about watching the girls play and talking about Coach Stein, is you watch certain things happen. You can watch, a week or two ago when McKelvey sat there and took the ball and had a backcourt violation because the inbounds pass. Guess what? She's not over that line anymore. She's behind that line, from here on out. But it's just the coaching things that you watch him. We pick things out, y'all pick things out. And then the next game, you can see that.
Right.
He saw the same thing. He worked with it, and they've worked on it, and it's gotten better.
And it's hard because you got your coaches like Bruce Pearl that coaches every possession, right? He's screaming instruction and that kind of stuff. Then you got your coaches like Barnes at Tennessee. He doesn't scream that much. So when you got your coaches that that scream every play, you let your athletes see if they remember what you're telling them. Sometimes it kind of bite you in the rear end. But they just have to learn. Like the taking the ball, grabbing the out of bounds on the backside. That's stuff in Pee Wee basketball you should be learning. And sometimes you forget it. And Coach Stein, to his credit, just lets them figure it out, hoping that if they figure it out on their own, it's going to stay there even closer. But we've got a lot of talent. I tell you what, Gorchek is unbelievable on the offensive end. I'm going to say it. If some girl wants to get mad at me, that's fine. Thornton was really great athlete up here. She's one of the best I've ever seen. But Gorchek Mood, in my mind, is the best offensive player I've ever seen.
And just a junior.
And
the switches flipped back on. Didn't start out the season very well as far as the offensive side of the court, and we just couldn't. Of course, we kind of said that she was trying to get everybody involved too much.
Right.
We felt like, let you shoot the ball, I won't take care of it. Well, she's kind of said, it started with that game down at Gulf Shores, I guess, when she scored 29 against
I wasn't
Barstow,
invited,
Alabama.
so I didn't get to see that one.
But in the 4 games since then, not even including that game, she's averaging right at 18 points a game.
Yeah, and Paul, she's really good offensively too, but Gorchek's just her driving to the ball, with some authority. She just pull up. She's, I know she's a soccer phenom, but she's spending some time in the gym too, because some of the shots attempting.
Mm-hmm.
Is you just can't show up at a game and do that.
Mhm.
You got to work on it. So she's working harder than what we think.
She had a couple that really didn't do a good job of describing on the broadcast of what we just saw.
Right, and there's a couple that
Hard
you know,
to describe what she's
Yeah,
done. I mean,
yeah.
she torqued her body on a couple of those. I'm like, okay, that's not.
and that's what
2
she may.
points.
And she might not be the best 3-pointer ever in Portland. I'm just saying total
She's not.
offensive game
Yeah.
and driving, pulling up. She's the best I remember seeing. That's just me.
Wow.
So, anyway, we got to share information here, guys.
So, looking at the district standings, to me, and we said that was kind of a key game, Springfield, because you didn't want to go 0-2 in the district. And when we're talking about trying to stay on the upper half side of the district standings, that Springfield game is going to be big. Because you got Liberty Creek, you got to play them again, and you got Section Camp twice that's coming up. So, big game. Anyway, you're looking at the standings in the district now. Liberty Creek, of course, on top. They're 2-0, 16-4 on the season. But three-man romp right there in the middle with Portland, Springfield, and Section Camp all at 1-1. And we've got Greenbrier and Station. We got Station Camp next Friday, so that's going to show us real well. There was a White House and Greenbrier was supposed to play last night. I don't have a score for the girls' game, so I'm not sure how that turned out. I do know. Yeah, that's all I know. I do know that Liberty Creek beat Station Camp 48-33, so that score was a little bit more lopsided than I thought it would be.
We'll see.
If you want to look over to the boys' side, by the way, girls have won 4 out of the last 5, regardless of how good or bad they played in each of those games. 4 out of 5 wins is trending in the right direction.
Yeah, and if you're new to me on these shows, I mean, I take the perspective as a coach. So, I'm just saying this is what we need to do. I always try to find out what we need to work on better. And that's just the way I am. You like it or don't like it, that I'm not changing. But that's just stuff we need to work on. I'm a huge fan of the girls. I told you 3 years ago, I preferred not to do the girls' games and just come for the boys. But I fell in love with these girls 3 years ago, and I still am. I just want them to achieve everything they can because I know they're getting the coaching. I just want them to be lucky.
So the boys go 2-0 this week.
Sorry. So what I just found was it looks like White House girls beat Greenbrier. I don't have a score, but that's what AI is telling me. But that does not mean that it's.
Well, if that's the case, then you've got White House in there in the mix at 1-1 also. So you've got 4 teams at 1-1 again. It's real early. You've got 10 district games that you have to play. But White House went into that game with 2-14 on the season against a 7-9 Greenbrier girls team. So slight upset if they came out with that victory. So the boys did go 2-0 this week, defeating Liberty Creek boys and defeating Springfield last night. And looking at that game last night, goodness gracious. We had to take commercial breaks because I was getting tired just watching. Back and forth affair, they won 48-45. Almost let it get away. They really did.
Yeah, I've got no problems with it all. We said coming in.
But they didn't let it get away, right?
Yeah, Springfield's always going to be fast. It's good for us because that's, I think, one of our things is we're fast and we got good ball handlers. So playing a team that should be on paper equally as fast is good practice for us. We did good. The refs were kind of all over the place. It was just it was hard to get any traction with what was going on. What I'm proud of the team the most is they're going downhill. They're not shooting themselves out of ball games like we did last year. We were, for whatever reason last year we just decided we were a 3-point team, not Coach Ferguson but the boys themselves, and they just relentlessly missed 3-point shots. Now there were games that we would hit them, a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
But it always seemed like the fourth quarter last year, we were in a game, and then our shot selection just wasn't, in my mind, what it should have been. And It is now. I mean, Keelan's grown up so much inside. He's a force to be reckoned with in the paint. But I tell you, my hat's off to Tristan Calvert. I mean, he's grown up so much in the last 3 years watching him. You know, going downhill is hard. I mean, you get hit a lot. You get fouled probably.
And you're not going to always get the foul call either.
No, you're not, without a doubt. So it takes a lot of guts to do that and determination. And Tristan, in my mind, is leading the way. All of our guys are doing it. And they're what they're doing is creating easy shots for other teammates too, because they're all kind of getting in that when we go downhill, if they get triple teamed, somebody's going to be open. But I'm giving the hats off to Tristan for, to me, he's the predominant driver on the team, and he's done a good job. And like I said, he's getting killed. And last night he didn't come out.
Mm-hmm.
And to be to guard that's playing that kind of basketball, and my thing, hats off to Coach Ferguson for letting them do that. If you've got kids that can do it, do it. There's a lot of coaches in the world that are traditional John Wooden kind of deal where your point guard's only job is to get the ball past half court and then give it to somebody else to feed the low post, feed the low post, feed the low post. And that's fine, I guess. But if you've got guards that can penetrate and dish and shoot,
and pretty much anybody on that court,
yeah, the
can
whole
take
team,
a defensive rebound and take it all the way to the
everybody, and I've said it all year long. We go 7.5 deep, 8 when Will's getting in the game, which we talked about. Will needs to get his time because there's going to be games that Keelan gets in foul trouble, or we're going to match up with a team that's got a lot of height, and Keelan it can't hold down a 5 spot the whole game. It's going to wear him out. So we can move him to 4 and let Will come in and play 5. So that's real critical that Will gets those points in my mind, to achieve what we can achieve. But yeah, that's coming into the season. That's what I said. We got 6 to 7 guys that can flat dribble the ball, run with the ball, pass the ball, all of them. And I said Tristan and Keelan, but if the kids, if they go back and listen to our games, we're calling all of them out. Evan Brown, he doesn't start anymore, but he's a great sixth man. He comes in, his defense, last night his defense was phenomenal. He likes playing mean, and he aggravates people to death because his defense is so tough. And Evans is a huge deal with what we got going on. He doesn't need to worry about his points. None of them, that's the key, none of them need to worry about their points. They're going to come and go. That's the way I raised my son. It's just like, go in the game to win. You don't worry about yourself individually as far as what your score line is. Worry about yourself defensively. Make sure you're getting your teammates involved with the game. Make sure you're getting charges. Make sure you're getting loose balls. Make sure you're picking your guys up when they have a bad stuff.
Right.
That's what a good basketball player does. And he's not worried about scoring 80 points a game. That's not if you lose, it doesn't matter what you did. And a lot of these kids, they look like they've got that mindset, which is very unselfish. They don't care who scores. They care who wins, and it's them. And all of them, Nate Honeycutt, man, he throws his body around all over the place. He takes charges. He does a good job. Evan Ferguson, man, he'll go flying. He got called for a foul last night. Was it him or Honeycutt? I think it was Ferguson. There wasn't a foul. Hey, we're going for a loose ball. That's part of the game.
Oh, were they slid to the table?
Yeah. The ball was loose. He dove to go get it. How he got called for a foul is way beyond me because the other kid was getting on the floor too. All because Ferguson's stronger and propelled himself harder, so therefore the contact looked more bad to the other kid. He didn't foul him. There was no way that was a foul. They were going after a loose ball. So all of them. Totten has really picked up his game a lot. He can hit the 3, but he's going to the hole a lot. They're so unselfish. The only negative that I had in the game last night, and these stats are unofficial because last night was probably the worst night I've scored all year long. In a Hall of Fame game, I always do that. I don't understand it. But we were 9 for 22 is what I got. I should have texted Curtis to make sure. And we were 4 for 10 in the fourth quarter. And we absolutely can't do that. The 2 free throws that Honeycutt hit at that moment of the game were the hugest shots of the night because we had come off a 1 for 2 at the line deal, and it was still kind of teetering, and him coming up and popping those 2 down at that moment probably as close to sealing the deal as you can get. But we got to hit those free throws in the fourth quarter big time. We just absolutely got to get on the line and knock them down. But I love this team.
Yep.
You know, and I'm critical of a lot of stuff. So if I love you, that you're doing it right. These kids
You
are
don't
doing.
throw out your love.
I don't throw out
to
my
anybody.
love real easily. You know, I've got high expectations for athletes and players, and I love this team. The only thing they can do wrong right now is drink the Kool-Aid. They just absolutely, because it's going to get, when you start winning in Portland, dude, you become a rock star. It's really cool, but it's also scary, because if the kids start buying into it too much, like what you should do when people rock star you is you should work harder. You should go in the gym more. You should shoot more free throws. But kids sometimes, and grown-ups, when they start drinking the Kool-Aid, let their guard down. They
Yep.
stay at home and they play a little more video games. They hang out at Sonic a little bit longer than they should. They do that kind of stuff. And what you should do is, when the accolades are coming in, is make you work even harder, because the other teams are seeing that you're winning, dude. You're going to start getting everybody's best shot.
Mm-hmm.
They're absolutely going to work on your coming in to beat you. So if these kids will just not drink the Kool-Aid and keep working like they're working now, there's just no telling what they could do. You don't know. But with the ball handlers and the athletes we got, I see them going a long way if they buy into what Coach Word. I would like them to learn his own defense, by the way, but that's just my defense.
They play a little bit. I see glimpses of. They look like they was in a 2-3 last night, but it's like they go from one side to the other like that, and all of a sudden it goes right back into
Yeah,
man
and what
type
I
of
like
thing.
too is we didn't come out last night and chase them down at the 3/4 line. I hate that. And when I mean 3/4, you have your half court. You're better at calling the parts of the ball court than I am. But 3/4 of the way out. If they want to shoot threes from out there, go for it. You just shoot them all night long. I know that was a thing we wanted to do a couple of years ago, to shoot it from that girl from Iowa kind of stuff. There's not, if the girl from Iowa, if you can shoot like her, shoot like that. But most people can't shoot. Even boys can't shoot like that,
Yeah.
right?
But-
So there's a line there. And that somebody invented the line. They made that distance for a reason. So the easiest way to shoot a ball is the closest to the goal. Like a layup should be a dunk's it's not your easiest, but it's your highest percentage. Dunks are hard. When you get up in the air, there's a lot of people undercutting you. You can get your fingers caught in the net. Corey Brewer almost killed himself at MLK when he was a sophomore, doing one of his first live. He could have been a freshman. I don't remember. But anyway, it's hard. I'm not saying it isn't hard, but it's a higher percentage shot. So they invented the 3-point line to give you a +1 because it's a hard shot. So going 5 or 6 feet behind it just doesn't make sense to me. If they're guarding your whole team that deep, then go to the hole, right? There's a lot of spacing between that point and down. So that's my thing. And last night on defense, we didn't come out real far because it makes no point to start chasing at that point. And I noticed we were at the 3-point line a lot on defense last night. I don't know if it was by design or not, but I noticed it, and I loved it because, like I said, there's no point in guarding somebody unless you're trying to trap to get turnovers and that kind of stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just straight up man-to-man defense, no traps involved, none of that stuff. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me to come past the 3-point line unless they're nailing it, and I just don't see their percentages being that high. Anybody be playing.
8 in a row, 12 of the last 13, 15-4, went all the way back to 2000. I didn't see where the team had started off in that good of a record in that time period. On a roll. Looking at the district standings, White House beat Station Camp Tuesday 60-53. Don't think we saw that one coming.
Well, yeah, I did. Drew Lowry is the coach there. Drew Lowry is a good basketball coach, dude.
70-59, they defeated Greenbrier last night. So White House is actually leading the district at a record of 3-0. Portland's right behind them at 2-0. Then Springfield and Station Camp both 1-1, and then Greenbrier and Liberty Creek are looking for their first district win. And we've got Greenbrier Tuesday, and then Station Camp next Friday at Station Camp, which is always a tough place to play. It was last year, I think we defeated Station Camp at Station Camp. That was the first time
Yeah, you said in forever.
ever. First time we'd ever won at Station Camp.
Of course, the Station Camp just came around, though, just for the old people. They didn't get a chance to beat Station Camp because it's not that old of a school. Or the,
25 years.
okay, but I'm just saying, for Danny Thompson, right, he didn't get to play him, so he could have beat him, but there wasn't a school then. So just, I wanted to shout that out.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
That's a good segue, bringing up Mr. Thompson. You want
No,
Hall
you
of
do.
Fame.
You're
The
the
Hall of
best
Fame.
one. Yeah, Danny.
Let's go over the Hall of Fame inductees last night, guys.
Coach Thompson got in the Hall of Fame. He deserved it. Well deserving.
Danny Thompson got in for, would you say baseball, then basketball? I mean, he was
I
a
didn't even
two-sport
watch him
star.
in either sport, but from what the accolades pulled out, yeah, basketball. But I think, you know, he was assistant coach on a two state championship run teams, the high school basketball team and the baseball team. So, you know, maybe
but he pitched that 9-inning shutout.
Yeah, I'm saying both. I think
Okay.
both. I think,
Okay.
you know, like I said, I didn't get to watch him play. He loves basketball and he loves baseball. He was I didn't get to watch him. I heard more about him in baseball than anything, but I also heard about his toughness. You know, he was a garbage kind of guy in basketball, and those are the guys who win you championships. And then as a baseball coach and a basketball coach, I know my son adored him. He just absolutely loved playing for him. He would have done anything in the world for him, and he was the assistant coach. And I know this, I'm not going to name players and stuff, but I know for a fact, unless what I thought I knew had been wrong for 20-something years, when we played in the semifinal, or the deal to get us to the regional game, or the sectional, the game we had to play Macon County at Macon County to win the region.
Okay.
Coach Thompson told Coach Borum that we needed to start our closer because he'd had a lot of success. In Macon County, they beat us in the district tournament, but he had a lot of success against them in a couple of outings coming in and closing. And they did, Coach Borum did it, so hats off to Coach Borum for doing it. And our closer came in and shut down Macon County at Macon County to put us in the sectionals. So you got to, you know, Coach Thompson could see that, right, as a coach, and you know, that was a big move on his part. That really did help. You know, would we have beat Macon County anyway? I don't know. You just don't know, but you know what happened.
You know you did.
And yeah, then they took their closer and made him a starter, and then that game there we won after we got beat by them.
I thought it was interesting. We was able to interview Danny on the halftime of the boys game, and he talked more about that game that he coached in than he did about the game that he played in,
right,
where they had made that run. And he
that's,
was more
that's
wanting to
Coach
talk
Thompson
about
kind of. That's what he is.
the kids in that era. I thought that was interesting. Elias Groff holds almost all of the soccer records for boys soccer back in the Steve Glazer coaching days. He gets in, and I thought that was very fitting, especially when you look at his accolades and everything that he's accomplished. That seemed like a no-brainer. Bubba Douglas, Cal Douglas, as some teachers may know him, got in, and he played at the same time as Danny Thompson played. That's the same era, and
right,
he's football. And if you look in, there's some sort of publication out there that has the most memorable football plays in Panther history, and one of his is on there.
I hope Matt Taylor's run against White House is in there, because that was the best play I've ever seen in my life.
Wow.
In high school football. And the stories about that, we'd have to get some old people in here that knew Matt, or even get Matt to come in, but I just heard that the game was on the line, they called a play, he just told the guys, look, we're not running that play, just block. And it was phenomenal, I'm telling you.
You can get away with that if it works, can't you?
Yeah, and it worked, and you know, but anyway, I didn't mean to get off on Matt Taylor, but he's in the Hall of Fame too, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
And John Ferguson, currently the boys' head basketball coach, and yeah, had to get him in there.
Yeah, and 20, 30 years from now, he may get reinducted as a coach, because I tell you what.
Keep sending teams to the sectional tournament.
Well, and like I said early on, you know, when John got put in, it was when I started coming back into the fold, and I watched him, and you know, you're nervous. Everybody thinks, well, not everybody, but being a head coach is tougher than being an assistant coach, because there's a lot of pressure on you, and there's a lot of stuff coming from a lot of directions. When you're assistant coach, you're kind of sitting on their wing over there, and you don't have all the external stuff coming down on you, right? You know, parents, the expectations, the fans, your expectations mess you up more than anybody. right? Because you got all this stuff in your head, and you got a lot of pressure on you. So it takes a while to settle in and to kind of learn what you want and don't want to do and get comfortable with it. And there were times that I don't know if John was 100% comfortable because he got kind of thrown into it in a way. I mean, you know
Oh
what
yeah.
so it
I'm gonna
took
say
him,
it was about December of that year,
right.
whenever they said,
And,
"Hey,
and you could
you're
tell
the
that,
head coach for the rest of the year." And
yeah, it took him a while in to see, not a long while, but a little while to get comfortable. But every year, he gets more and more comfortable
Yeah.
with what he's doing. You know what I mean? I don't think he's worried much about the outside noise. You can't do anything about the outside noise. You're never going to please everybody. Everybody knows more than you, no matter what. They just do. It's the way it is. And he's finally, I think, just kind of put that to the side and just, and the good thing about it, he's a student of the game. That's what I like about him the very most, is he's a student of the game. We've had some good basketball coaches up here, but the way John,
and he prepares.
yeah, but
for
the way he does his athletes, he looks at what he's got, and then he forms what he wants to do with that.
Mhm.
He's not locked into my point guard doesn't shoot. He just gets the ball across half court and distributes. My two guard shoots only. We blah 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 blah. Just the old school basketball. Coach Ferg's not doing that. He's doing the what athletes? What do you got? If I got a lot of athletes, let's move the ball a lot. Let's run a lot. Let's use our athleticism, right?
Mhm.
I mean, he'll still feed the post. You got to always feed the post a little bit, but he's just not locked into it. He's just, I don't know. I'm really impressed with him. I think he went from a good coach. He went from a coach that could do it to a good coach. I'm almost putting the tag great coach on him. I mean, because I know this. I would let my son play basketball for him. And you might go, well, you're from Portland, you have to. No, I didn't. I never had to let my son play for anybody. I could move at any moment. Okay, so if my son played for you, that means I had confidence in what you were doing. And I would let my son play for Coach Ferguson in a heartbeat. And you're thinking, well, you think a lot of your son. Yeah, I did. But my son produced. And I wanted to play for a coach that would push him. And to get us in winning programs, it doesn't matter how many points you score if you don't win. Winning's everything.
That's right.
You don't want to come home at night with 70, 50, 60 points and a loss. That stinks. And that's the way.
If you're an athlete, it doesn't matter if you get the win or if you got the points or the touchdowns,
You want
or
the win.
you want the win.
And that's the way we raised our son, me and my wife both, and we wanted him to play for a coach that felt like that and pushed that philosophy on people. And Coach Ferguson's that guy.
So congratulations to those, the 2026 Portland High School Athletics Hall of Fame inductees.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I tell you what was cool about last night. What I saw was that you saw a lot of former Hall of Famers there last night. And I know they have a luncheon or they have a meal and everything, but it's nice that you don't see these guys come back or these people come back for every game. You see one or two, but because it's almost like the Hall of Fame for the NFL when they show it. You got all the guys that come back with their gold jackets to honor the guys being inducted that year and to congratulate them and be part of the brotherhood or family that's going in. It was nice to see former Hall of Fame people back at the game last night to watch the induction ceremony and then to also sit there and be with their new mates, their new inductees, and to welcome them into it. It's kind of like a Heisman. You bring all of them back that you can, and when you have the new Heisman come in, then they become part of the family, and it's just nice to see former Hall of Fame people be there last night and to be there to
And
watch
one
it.
was there in spirit. It's a 9-hour drive. It's kind of hard.
But
It was a
basketball?
good thing. Dr. Woods is the one who started that back up here. Or
Mhm.
started that.
2014.
2015 was the
15.
first class, yes. And so you got hats off to him because it was never done before. He gets here and wondering where's the Hall of Fame, and there's not one.
Right.
He says and Coach Leachman, she was the AD at that time, so she helped get that going too. So hats off, and then you got to continue it on.
Mhm.
So I think it's a cool thing. And there's a lot of discussion today on some stuff. I don't do a whole lot of social media, but like Anthony Paget's not on there, right?
Yeah,
a lot of people, is he on there? Why did I read that today that he wasn't when I thought he was?
He's right behind the P.
Is he in the white that you can't see?
I'm not.
Read?
You can bring that up. That's the only thing that is kind of a negative about the honors are great. I thought Anthony was on there. Why did somebody say it's not completed till Anthony Paget?
Maybe they didn't see the name.
I read that before. It's behind the white maybe.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of it. I just don't have time to pull it up. But that's the only negative, and I hate to be negative because everybody's negative. But there's some names that are behind. It's a beautiful purple background.
Yeah, the most important one can't be seen.
And then, well, maybe. It depends who you are. My most important one is Sam.
Well, I'm telling
He's
you.
on the bottom of the middle row. And you can see it clean as night. Because that was the first thing I told my wife. I said, hope he's not behind the B. We'll never know. But that's, there's times that you can be personal. There's no shame in being proud of your son, is it? I don't think so. But if you're behind the P, you can't see their name.
Well, maybe they need a, if everybody's has a white, their name is in white. When you get to the P, turn it to purple.
Right.
So that way it
I don't know how hard that is, but yeah. And it's not, I'm not bashing anybody, but that is something that when you're lucky enough to get on there, you hope your name's not behind the white P. Because you can't see it.
It's just a great honor. You want to make sure that you see
honor.
it, that your kids can see it later on or whatever, and it's just something that needs to be fixed. But we got one game this week, I believe Tuesday night, Greenbrier.
Tuesday, Greenbrier, and Friday it's Station Camp.
Friday, okay.
And they're playing today in Bowling Green.
The boys.
High school, the boys are.
So, but with that, we can table the head coach football till next week, or unless you just want to do it real quick. Looking for a head coach. Coach Hicks was let go Thursday. I know interviews start Monday. Everybody has their opinion on who they want or what they think they want and this and that. I think that you just need to make sure that, whoever it is has experience as a head coach. You'd like to see experience as a head coach, or just has a good system. You need a good system here, and a lot of talk on social media right now is you can't do much if you continue to let go coaches every 2 or 3 years. And I agree. We like to try to find someone who can stay around longer than 2 or 3 years. I know Emmett left, and the reason why he left when he did, he's back now. I'm sure, he wishes he would have stayed and everything. But whoever you're out there looking for and searching for, definitely got to build something for the future. You don't want something that's just going to be around for 3 or 4 years and they're off and running. I know Portland's not a town or a team that everybody's just dying to come to, but you know what? It'd be nice to sit there and put your name up there and go, hey, I'm the one that did this. I'm the one that turned it around, and I'm the reason why people are now moving into the town. So kids can go to the high school, and I think Dr. Woods is doing a great job as an administrator for the school. We just got to have coaches. You got Ferguson now getting the basketball. You got Coach Stein getting the basketball and headed in the right direction. You're trying to always find places or people to come in and move your program, depending on what it is, in the right direction. And so, do you look for someone that has, you see a lot of new coaches. You can look at their schedule this last year. White House has a new coach. Hunters Lane had a new coach. Greenbrier is getting ready to have a new coach. Portland is getting ready to have a new coach. And they're all going to some type of open offense, spread offense. 2 and 3 wide receivers.
See, my problem with that is don't come in with some philosophy that this is what I'm going to do. Every year is going to be different. If you don't have a quarterback to run a wide open offense, you can't run a wide open offense, right? You can't just pooty out a quarterback, right? If all you got's a kid that can run the ball, quarterback, then have some kind of triple option kind of stuff.
Right.
If you don't have a thrower, you don't have a thrower. So if you come in interviewing that I'm going to have a wide open offense, well, good for you. Where are you going to get your quarterback at?
Your system,
So,
your scheme
yeah.
has to be diverse enough to be
That it
able
can
to
change
adapt,
for what you've got.
you know.
And the big thing too is from what I understand, Coach Hicks brought the weights back in the program. You got to absolutely have a weight room. And so hats off to Coach Hicks, because if you didn't have a weight room before Coach Hicks, then you didn't really know what you were doing, because you didn't pay a lot of attention to the other coach. Weights are everything.
Mhm.
If you're not the strongest 130-pound kid on the field, you're going to get your butt kicked. And weights are everything. So I'm going to give Coach Hicks that if he was the one that got us back on weights, because you absolutely have to have some type of weight program. Period. Now, do you have to do it every single day of every single summer day? Blah blah. No, you got to work with your kids. If you got dual athlete kids, you got to be open and let them go do their deal. In the middle of summer, baseball kids is who you get recruited in the summer in baseball. Your AAU basketball players, that's when they get recruited. So you got to build your programs around that. You can't expect them to come in at 6 in the morning, put in a heavyweight routine, and then have a tournament that afternoon. You let them pass it. You have to do that if you're going to get all your athletes to play.
I think the weight room, we've had the weight room. It's always been there. The program's been there. I think it's
Stressing doing it.
Well, I mean, they lift they're not coming in working on their own. Okay, so the coaches that were there, Coach Cab sat there and did it. Coach Inman was there. You know, they were all doing the weight room. It is the program that you put in. It's how you mesh the weights with the agilities and how they work together. And I think Coach Hicks came into a program that he helped develop that worked. You know, we started seeing results and everything. And you have to also make sure, and like you said, you can't sit there and pound a kid to lift weights 7 days a week, and you're not here, but you need to be lifting. You got to have off days, you got to have rest days, but it's how you do that. And I think that's what Coach Hicks brought in that. And with Coach Emily coming back and seeing what Coach Hicks did, and Coach Moore being involved in that, also, that's going to stay. But you know, you hope that whatever coach you do bring in has knowledge of the weight room and off-season program that works, can sit there and say that it works. And then, you know, whatever scheme you come up with, whether it's double wing stuff, or whether it's 2-3 wide stuff, open stuff, defensively 3-4, whatever you want to 4-4, whatever you want to do, you know, just have confidence in your system, and that you are true to that system, and you don't sit there and change week to week the base of your system. That is, it's kind of exciting. You know, it's one of those where it's exciting to see who wants to come here. You know, and where do they come from? What's their pedigree? What's their history, and everything. I'm not opposed to having an assistant, as long as the assistant is proven and has had a good record to wherever he's coming from. Have an assistant be able to step up.
Chase Brooks was an assistant at one time before he got to East Rob, right? Everybody was an assistant before they got to be a head coach. How many people just came out as a head coach?
Here's the one thing I will say about when you go looking for a coach. He needs to be, in my opinion, at minimum, at least a 4A coach, 5 or 6A coach to understand. Because you can go into a 1A school, 2A school, have one athlete, maybe 2 athletes, and you can take a school a long way with having athletes like that. You can't sit there and win with just having one athlete at a 5A or 6A.
A good coach is a good coach.
True.
If the only job he's got at this point was a 1A school, but he's still a good coach. He'll coach on your upper levels.
Yes.
Because Perry started at Westmoreland and then moved over to Portland. So you just
gotta
do your due diligence and find your guy.
You've got to be, but you also by that time you've also developed a system, whether offensively.
Right. In defense, you can go some different ways, right, and still won't kill your program. But offensively, I don't think you don't need to come in with a resume that I'm only going to run a spread offense.
Yeah.
And because you don't know what kids you got.
When
I'm interviewing somebody, I want a coach to talk about his offense to tell me whatever I have is what I'm going to run.
But
and that tells me that he's open to what you got.
Real quick, it's just like you're going to run the double wing. What happens if you're down 21 points and you got to pass it? You don't have too many passing plays there in the double wing stuff. Being a true double wing.
But you can.
But you have to be able to open up
Right.
see what you want to do. It's like you said. But anyway,
yeah, that's the
it's,
thing. I don't think if you just say I run a spread, you go, okay, you get the job. Because if you don't have the kids that run a spread, it ain't gonna work.
And so, real quick, I want to give an update on wrestling that I just got. Xander Hall won his first match. Diego Soy got a pin. Liam Lentz won. Jackson Hurley has won his first match. David Rojas lost his first match. Wyatt Funk won his first match. Michael Crow Sartain lost. Diego Soy won his second round. And then I just got an update that Xander Hall got a pin in his second round match, and he got it in less than 20 seconds.
Cool.
So it looks like we're doing well over in Wilson Central with the
Sounds-
wrestling and everything. So
Sounds
with that,
good.
guys.
One more thing.
Oh,
Graphic Obsession's got this new deal going on where they got cookies. So you need to, and I don't know if they're going to do a different cookie every week. I hope they don't, because I want the same cookie as I had this week again, because it was really good. But you need to get by there and get you some cookies, because they're really good. Just an FYI. If you want to buy an extra one and just put my name on it and leave it there, that would be more than cool with me.
did
I'm
you
good with
did
it.
you get anything that what Donna got when she was dancing on that video that I saw? What
Did I
was
see
it? Was
it?
it coffee? Was it a cookie? What was she doing? What was?
I don't know. I just know the cookies are really good. I highly recommend going.
You gotta make sure you get one where Coach Thayer's dancing like that. Then.
No, we're not doing that.
Guys, I appreciate y'all showing up today. Thank y'all for tuning in and listening. Again, hopefully y'all have a great Saturday going forward. Stay warm. And again, this is Coach Almaderas along with Coach Thayer, Kyle Eden for Sports Saturday Off the Rails. And you're listening to Portland Sports Network.